Good evening, kids. Welcome to HIS US History. Tonight, we're going to learn about Richard Nixon and his presidency. We'll go over his economical, social, and political aspects. Well, please enjoy.
Political aspect that many people focused was how the president deal with the Vietnam War. Nixon has said that
I have a special plan to win the Vietnam War.
Nixon supported the expansion of the American military. However, many people were against it, so Nixon reached a compromise solution. Nixon's compromise solution was to withdraw US troops gradually from Vietnam while supporting South Vietnam forces with money, weapon, training, and advisors. In March of 1969, Nixon ordered secret bombing of Cambodia, Laos, and North Vietnam for the purpose of cutting off communist supply lines to the south. Since it was an illegal action, these bombings were not revealed to the public until 1973. Nixon determined to withdraw American forces on a short timeable as possible. In June 1969, he announced the withdrawal of 25,000 troops from Vietnam. To counter the loss of troops, Nixon ordered to intensify the bombing of North Vietnam. Though US dropped huge amount of bombs, it was not enough to stop the increasing strength of North Vietnamese force. Despite billions of dollars spent for training, the South Vietnamese proved that they were powerless against the North Vietnamese force. In October 1972, the Paris peace talk reopened. North Vietnam demanded to allow North Vietnam troops to remain in South Vietnam and to replace Thieu. US agreed to those demands and promised to withdraw troops from Vietnam. Since 1972 was an election year, Nixon won a settlement. However, settlement fell apart when Thieu refused to sign the treaty. In order to force the North Vietnamese to rescind their demands, Nixon ordered intense bombing of North Vietnam, major cities, Hanoi, on December 18th, which was called Christmas bombing. Alas, peace treaty was signed, and the long Vietnam War came to an end. Though Nixon is believed to be an inept president due to his failure in the Vietnam War, he has some achievement during his presidency. Nixon based his foreign policy on real politics, which said US should pursue policies and make alliances based on its national interest. In February 1972, President Nixon visited China and recognized the government as the national government of China and supported them to be the member of UN. Looking at the two superpowers having a good relationship, USSR also approached US with friendly remarks. The Premier of Soviet, Brezhnev, approached Nixon about nuclear reduction talks. Well, in reality, he needed to purchase US grain, and he was concerned that the new US and China relationship would leave USSR isolated. Well, anyways, SALT I, which is the promise of cutting the number of nuclear missiles, was signed, and US maintained a good relationship with USSR. Nixon also worked hard in eliminating inequalities. Nixon said racism was a problem and law should be colorblind. He tried to achieve equality of education by desegregating. He desegregated hundreds of schools, which was an astonishing accomplishment. Also, Philadelphia Plan required government contractors in Philadelphia to hire minority workers. More African Americans and women were hired, which evinced a big leap forward in solving inequality of minorities. Occupational Safety and Health Act, OSHS, was also implemented. By this law, agencies would monitor workers' safety conditions. Check.
US tried to emulate with USSR in the field of space exploration. They also put heavy emphasis on education. This caused, plus fighting the war in Vietnam, resulted in the rapid rise in government spending, as well as high inflation rate. In 1967, the inflation rate was 3%. Nixon instructed the Federal Reserve Board to raise interest rate in order to slow down inflation. However, it was not enough.
Inflation was out of control. Nixon also tried to limit federal spending by cutting the budget for social programs, scientific research, and education. Though this helped slowing down the inflation rates, it was not enough. The inflation rate was 9% in 1973. In 1974, it was 12%, and for the remainder of 1970s and 80s, double-digit number continued. Moreover, the unemployment rate, which was 4% before 1968, rose to 6% by the end of 1970. This was caused by the baby boomers entering the workforce in numbers. An event that aggravated the economic situation of the US was the oil shock. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, suddenly refused to sell oil to nations that supported Israel in the Yom Kippur War. Though the US only supported Israel indirectly, OPEC, such as Saudi Arabia, increased the oil price by 400%. US, which heavily relied on oil products in the economy, suffered greatly, and in US, there was shortage in oil products, such as toilet papers. There was shortage, so, people need paper.
Long live the socialist world. We send the first man on the space. Our technology, the world's best. Damn the American and their capitalism regime.
What? That's insane! We can do better than those red communists. If they can send man to space, we can send man to the moon! Okay. Like this, Soros and American fought the space race. The space race was a great opportunity to show the world the technology they possess, and during Nixon's term, America was able to become the first nation to send man on moon. American people were filled with pride and felt superior to the Soviet Union. Did you hear, Sam? President Nixon resigned from the presidential office. What? Is that true, Michael? So the Watergate scandal finally got him, yeah? Yeah, that's right. He was not bad, but bugging the opposing party office is not what a leader of a nation should do. Nixon resigned from the presidential office in 1974. This was due to the Watergate scandal in which Nixon ordered to place wiretap in the Democratic office in Watergate. Although he resigned and Gerald Ford gave pardon to him for giving any crime he might have done during his presidency, this meant the government saw Nixon guilty and made the people of the United States distrust the government. This was the first time that the President of the United States resigned during his term. Started by Kennedy and widened by Johnson, the Vietnam War created great anti-war feeling in the people of America. The students and hippies reacted to this the most, and they were becoming a social problem. Nixon, appealing to the people that he will end the war, won with a landslide victory, and he kept the promises by withdrawing the troops by 1973. With this, the student and hippie movement ceased. Oh, how was it, boys and girls? Well, Nixon's presidency is often described as a failure. His policy in Vietnam angered the people, and high inflation rate aggravated the American economy. The Watergate scandal resulted in people distrusting the government. However, he worked hard in improving the lives of the people and relationship with China and USSR. Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Well, sorry but it's time to say bye-bye. Let's see you guys next week. See ya!
Now let me tell y'all a little something, yo. To all you motherfuckers who think I'm